I forgot to put drops.
Oh my God.
Why is this the dev stream? I don't want Dooch. I need the Bethesda stream. Here it is. We're gonna see what Zoss has. Let's see what season direct is. Now let me move my little let's see what's cracking here. What's your predictions? I don't know. Something about seasons, but there's something about PvP in this stream I was told, so I honestly have zero fucking clue what the fuck is happening today. I have no clue. Something's gonna happen. I don't know what the fuck it is though. Gravelord Earthern Animal. It's not even a Necro anymore. It's like a fucking completely different class. What I missed? Nothing. But we have a dev stream in 4 minutes. Fuck, this music sucks. This music is fucking ass, man. What the fuck? What up, Outlaw? I don't know. There's something in here about PvP and some other shit, so I guess we'll find out. What gets announced. Best reactor of all time. We're definitely a reactor. 100% drinking stream this Saturday with E-Man and Hammer and maybe Paige. I don't know. I think she's going to Vegas. I don't know how long she's going to be out, though. All three of us are going to be drinking. I'm going to have my cam on for once in my life. Finally, again. I'm a professional drinker. Can I join? You can drink as much as you want to. But yeah, E-Man will be drinking as well. Obviously, Hammer will be drinking because that's all Hammer does is drink. But we gonna see what happens in this bitch, man. We gonna see what Zos is about. $33 seconds. What they gonna announce? There was the roadmap. I guess details of the roadmap.
Walk and talk with the chat. It look like it's important.
Oh shit. The fuck is this?
Welcome everyone to the 2026 ESO Seasons Direct. I'm Susan Kath, and this is Nick Giacomini, and we are happy to be here with you today.
A few months ago, we introduced everyone to Seasons.
Right.
If you missed our stream, here's a quick refresher. Seasons are roughly 90-day windows that give us space to focus on what you've been asking for, like meaningful updates to combat, systems, and rewards, while still delivering the rich stories and exploration that make ESO feel like home. We want to make sure there's always something new and exciting happening in Tamriel. All seasonal content is free for anyone who owns the game. No gates or barriers, just hop in and play.
Since we first talked about all of this in January, we've already introduced some of the changes with an update earlier this month. Things like the first round of player experience improvements, updates to the Dragon Knight class visuals, and more.
Right.
And with today's show, we're going to go deeper in the details on Seasons 0, 1, and 2, our 2026 seasons. And some of our developers will be joining us to speak to these changes in greater detail.
Right.
But as we said earlier this year, We very much want to shape the future of ESO with more community collaboration.
Okay.
And so we're very pleased to welcome some special community guests today to join us in roundtable discussions with our team.
That collaboration is a big part of why this year feels so different.
They didn't invite me.
In
What the
addition
fuck?
to the many improvements that we just launched, with more coming throughout the year, your feedback has shaped this year's features, like solo dungeons and our first version of challenge difficulty. And we're pushing boundaries with new experimental offerings that expand.
This is what
ESO in
ESO
ways we
Plus
haven't
plays
seen
for.
before,
Cool
like
intros.
the Night Market, our new action-packed group zone that's coming in Season 0. We want
Right.
to be more transparent with the community.
That's
on
in
what
like
we're
2 days,
building,
no?
How we're thinking about things, and how
Might
we're
go
using your
PvE.
feedback to build our Tamriel together.
But now let's start the show, and we'll turn it over to Kira, Finn, and Wheeler to shed more light on the contents of
Wheeler,
Season 0.
the boy's here. Hey, this is kind of clean, though. I fuck with it, man. I fuck with the intro, though.
Hello there. I'm Kira Roshlit, lead of the Player Experience Improvements team.
And I'm Mike Finnegan, Associate Design Director for ESO. And on behalf of the team here at ZOS, we want to welcome you all to Season 0.
Season 0 is our first look at an evolving ESO experience. It brings a ton of quality of life updates based on your feedback and new types of content.
Speaking of which, let's begin with the night market.
Right.
This is a new type of experience called an event zone, available for 7 weeks during Season 0. We have
7
plans to bring
weeks?
it back later in the year, and depending on its reception, maybe added permanently. It's encounter heavy with an emphasis on group play, but don't let that deter you from checking it out. Joining a group isn't required,
Volume's a bit low.
so it's easy to hop in and play. The zone features multiple districts with
Now
unique
my ears are
aesthetics
getting
and many
fucked,
different types
but-
of activities. Calamitous world bosses,
Shit louder
wandering
than me
trial
now.
level bosses, daring races, discoverable quests, unique relics to unlock, and a lot more. So the Night Market is a section of Fargrave, the Daedric realm, which opens and closes at the whims of magic beyond anyone's understanding. It's inaccessible when the market is closed, but when it opens, mortals and Daedra alike flock to the new districts in the hopes of scouring and finding new objects and items. Unique to the Night Market are factions. We have 3 NPC factions, and you will need to pick one to serve. Work together with your friends or other heroes to bring victory via
So we
quests and
gotta pick
activities
an
in the event zone.
alliance.
Rewards will be dished out to each faction based on performance. Which faction you choose will matter because at the end of the event zone, your faction will be rewarded based on how well it does.
Okay. Basically,
There are 3
PvE
factions,
Cyrodiil.
each with their own distinct methods and motivations within the Night Market. There's the Ruckus, the Bruiser faction preferring to rule through strength.
Okay.
The Glittering Goad, who has amassed great wealth from running all of the various auctions and stands within the Night Market.
Right.
And finally, the Thousand Eyes, one of the oldest factions. They are the small, the insignificant, and thus the unnoticed.
And everybody's
Each
gonna
of the
pick that
factions
one
is
because they
competing
want to
with
be
each
all
other,
cool and
and
mysterious.
none
Fucking
are above
losers,
using
man.
mortals to do their bidding. There are 3 districts within the Night Market, each with a distinct look, as well as a central hub called the Starlit Plaza. Each district has an associated relic that, once unlocked, will allow you to explore more and reach places previously forbidden.
It looks
The
pretty
districts
cool.
are run by deadly creatures called Gilded, and are only reachable once the relic for that district has been uncovered. There are many rewards in the Night Market, spanning from temporary power gains to permanent cosmetics and unlocks. There's an awesome new house called the Knight's Den, which will be unlocked for free once players complete the initial quest.
I
It has
think
entrance
this is gonna
directly
make
to
me
the
a
Night
PvE
Market and new
main.
features inside. It's the perfect place to show off all your hard-earned loot. And that's not all. We have more rewards available for players that put their skills to work in the Night Market.
Wow, more? Holy shit.
While the Night Market is available for a limited time, it will come back with new twists in the future. And we can't
Twists.
wait for you all to play and let us know what you like and what we should tweak for future iterations.
Well, this bruiser is ready to swear allegiance to the Ruckus.
The Thousand Eyes is going to take you down.
Yep, I'm not
we'll
joining
see.
either one of those
But
alliances if
as
these
Finn
dorks
mentioned
are on them.
earlier about
Goddamn.
tweaking and improving the player experience, the new player experience team is hard at work to improve your time in Tamriel.
Entry do
We want
leads.
everyone from vets to first-timers to have an amazing time adventuring, exploring,
It will die
and
in
more.
silence. I don't think if
These
it's
quality of
like
life
a
updates are part of
if
our
it's
mission
limited
to
time, I don't
work
think
with
it'll
you,
die out.
our players, to co-create your
there's always gonna
perfect
be people
ESO.
in there.
Let's take a moment to
This is a
review
limited
just
time
some
event.
of what went live with Update 49. But first, why did we make these changes?
I definitely think they
We've
should
heard
keep it
your
limited
feedback,
though.
and we agree. We need to not let outdated systems and bugs get in the way of the fun. Your time is valuable, so our first pass was to reduce unnecessary grind and friction that can bog down the experience. For example, we've tripled the efficacy of stable master training.
Yeah, that's
so now
goated.
you can do that
I gotta be
3
honest.
times as fast. We've reduced by nearly half the cost to upgrade both bag and bank.
Yep, that's also
It's
goated.
also critical for us to bring the game up to modern standards. Things like being able to respec for free in the menus.
That's also goated.
Upgrade your bag in the UI.
That's also
Improve
goated.
zone guide tracking.
Don't care about
and
that.
our first change coming from last year's Guild Summit. You can now easily rep your guild without a tabard. For
That's
our
whatever.
customization endgamers, we've increased many furnishing limits, made all armor slots hideable, and improved
All
outfit
armor slots are hideable.
These aren't
About
one-off
time.
improvements, but rather an ongoing initiative where we continue
Yo,
to
thanks for
improve
becoming
the
a
game
member, Amp.
and
We need
deliver
that.
on long
I'm
requested
like
features.
negative $20 on this stream. Starting this
Speaking of
stream,
new
$20
features,
is dead.
challenge difficulty, previously referred to as overland difficulty, is one of our most requested features by players.
Shit's
Earlier
still
this
not
year,
gonna be
we
hard
unveiled the
enough.
system and how it will work, but to give you a brief refresher, it's an opt-in selection for players to tailor their experience in overland and overland-adjacent zones to their liking. Think delves, public dungeons, story instances, and the like, but trials, dungeons, arenas, infinite archive, and the new night market will be exempt. You select one of 4 difficulties and will take increased damage and do reduced damage to monsters while gaining increased experience and gold based on your selection.
I'm gonna just
As
pick
we
the
mentioned, the
easiest one
system is
and
built to
farm
be able
shit.
to add to it in the future. This could take the form of new monster abilities, achievements, golden pursuits, in addition to increased or unique rewards. The system is completely opt-in, so no one will be forced into choosing a difficulty they don't want, and it will not affect the players you see and group with, as each choice is character specific. We're very excited to see players get their hands on this, test it out, put it through its paces, and give us feedback so we can see how best to tweak and adjust it in the future. You'll see it in game on June 8th during Season 0.
We have some great updates surrounding combat and PvP that will release with Season 0 and future seasons. We'll leave it to our combat pro, Brian Wheeler, to share the details.
Thanks, Kira and Finn. I'm happy to be here today talking about all things combat and PvP for Season 0 and beyond. In 2025, we started a massive PvP journey together, codenamed Vengeance.
Oh, God.
Thanks to everyone who's been participating and providing feedback for that.
Vengeance mentioned. Oh, we're fucked. We're fucked.
The Vengeance test campaign was a special rule set for serial PvP with altered versions of abilities and character templates that reduce the stress on the server, allowing truly large-scale battles with a smooth connection and minimal lag.
We're fucked.
This also lowers the barrier for many players getting into PvP by giving everybody equal footing
We're
with their
fucked.
abilities and their stats. Vengeance is an ever-evolving campaign, and we'll be adding new perks and additional skill
Oh,
lines
God, we're
or altering
fucked.
abilities within the campaign. During
Nice,
Season
self
0,
right,
we
go
plan to
ahead.
have one more test for Vengeance
Oh.
addressing feedback about healing versus damage.
Oh, God.
We know larger battles in Vengeance
Another
can really
Vengeance
hinge on
test?
whether you
Fuck
have more
me.
healing or more damage, which can lead to some prolonged battles where there doesn't seem to be a clear winner. We'll be trying out a few things with damage caps on area abilities and seeing how that plays out on the battlefield, but also on the server. On the tail end of Season 0, there will be a new reward system for players who participate in Cyrodiil, Imperial
let's see
City,
this.
and Battlegrounds. We're calling this Veterancy, and its progression is keyed off alliance points and experience earned in those areas.
Right.
As you level up in Veterancy, you'll earn new titles, perks, unique weapon and armor visuals, and a few skill styles you won't get anywhere else in
Skill
ESO.
styles. That's a good
This
thing.
really gives our PvP players a new progression path and a badge of honor, something our PvP veterans can proudly show off. The rewards will be updated every 6 months, and some will carry over from season to season, giving you a chance
they're
to earn
updated
them
every
in case
6
you
months.
missed that
That's
initial
good.
drop. We invite everyone to see what's happening on the PvP side of things. Climb the ranks and receive some unique rewards. Also, last year we asked about your feedback on ESO's classes, including pain points and overall thoughts on class identity. As part of our efforts to address that feedback and improve the overall look, feel, and balance of combat throughout 2026, all classes will receive updates that will round out and modernize them in relation to the current state of the game. You may have already seen the work completed on the Dragon Knight in Update 49. This included the video and audio refresh for abilities, but also their functionality to reinforce the Dragon Knight's power fantasy being rooted in the earth and fires of Tamriel.
Show us some Warden.
Also note, players can earn a full set of blue skill styles for Dragon Knight abilities
We
in
don't
Season
care.
0.
Can you show us like a Warden preview real quick?
In U49, the two-handed weapon skill line has been updated
Yeah, that
with
shit was
new effects,
trash.
animations, and audio adjustments to really emphasize that weight and force.
It doesn't.
There'll be more changes to weapon lines in the future to update their animations and effects as well.
I told you
We're
they're
also
gonna do
looking
that.
into reinforcing the power and capabilities for those who don't dip into subclassing by introducing a new class
Okay.
mastery skill line for each class, with a few passives that increase your capabilities in various roles like tanking, support, and damage.
Right.
We'll be releasing more information about this as we go through the development of these new class skill lines. We'll have more updates for combat and PvP as we share details on future seasons. In the meantime, keep the feedback coming, and I'll see you
What
on
the
the
fuck?
battlefield. Back to Kira and Finn.
There's no way that's it.
Now that we've gone deep into features, let's talk about in-game events happening during Season 0.
Twitch is
We'll kick
ass.
things off with our anniversary Jubilee event. This will lead into the launch of the night market. Then, to round things out, we
April
will be bringing
29th?
back the Zeal of Zenithar event.
God
We've been
damn.
working to find a balance with having our regular
Shit's all the
events,
way in
new ones,
fucking
and refreshing the ones
end
that
of
exist
April?
to keep the game exciting and rewarding throughout.
There's lots coming in Season 0. Did we mention that the launch was imminent?
We'll see you all in Tamriel for our very first season.
So what the fuck did we
very
get on
soon.
April 2nd? I'm so confused. If you
Let's
don't get
turn
the
it
night
over
market.
to Jason Barnes.
Bye for
Bye
now.
for
Bro,
now.
this fucking guy's a bozo, man. I
together.
hate this
But
guy.
together.
But together.
But together. Bye for now.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Barnes, Associate Design Director on the Elder Scrolls Online, and today I'm really excited to walk you through the new content that's coming with Season 1. The team's been really hard at work on a bunch of things that we can finally talk about in more detail, which really feels
My
great.
wife left
With
me.
the new season model, the content team is still focused on what we do best. It's stories with depth, interesting and beautiful areas to explore, and just more moments where you get to make choices and really mold the story to your character. But we're also taking a familiar type of content and giving it a new twist and adding even more new activities out in the world. The goal is really simple. Make Discovery feel exciting again and give you more fun stuff to run into while you're out there exploring. So, let's get into it. First up, the Thieves Guild is coming back.
Okay. I like these, Guild.
This is a continuation of the original Guild story, but with a new cast and taking place in Glenumbra.
I like Glenumbra.
You'll be teaming up with Quinn from the original Thieves Guild story as they
Right.
try to expand into Daggerfall itself.
I like this.
But there's another group, the Kaldane Cartel,
Uh-oh.
stirring up trouble in the shadows.
The
You'll
cartel.
need to pair up with some unlikely allies to uncover what it is the cartel's after
You gotta
and get
fuck
to
up
it
the
first.
cartel is crazy, man.
Gameplay-wise, we've got new places to hide in the world, like flower pots and behind curtains. We have a new thieving item called Somno Powder that lets you stun guards and other NPCs while you're sneaking around.
Okay.
And
That's good.
you'll even acquire a mythic item during the quest line that you can upgrade over time to make it stronger.
Mythic item.
And like all of our stories, you can jump into this even if you haven't done the original Thieves Guild quest yet. But if you have played the original first, you'll see more options and some unique dialogue. And since Thieves Guild is part of the base game now, yeah, go play it. While we're in Glenumbra, I also want to call out the art team.
Oh, we
They've
don't
been
give a
doing
fuck
a
about
bunch
the
of
art
work
team,
to
man.
bring the zone more in line with our newer areas, updating building textures and props, plus lighting and clutter passes similar to the zone refreshes we've done before. Now, if you want something that's not all stealth and a little bit more chaotic, we've also got a Sheogorath questline in Season 1.
Oh, Sheogorath. I like Sheogorath. I might go do me
It's
some questing,
basically
man.
Sheo deciding he wants to experience life as a mortal for a while. So he sets his power aside and goes wandering around Tamriel doing very normal mortal things, like showing up at cheese festivals as you do. And of course, it turns into complete chaos. His powers start doing their own thing, people try to steal them, everything spirals, and it's just Sheogorath being Sheogorath. It'll take you all over the world across 6 quests, and it gets weirder and weirder the deeper you go. But quests aren't the only thing we've been working on. We've also been looking at some of our older ways of delivering content and figuring out a way to freshen them up.
Okay.
So, let's talk favors.
What the fuck is a favor?
Favors are a new take on daily quests. They're tied to specific characters and guilds, and they send you all over the world doing a mix of different activities. They're kind of an homage to the old hireling letters in the sense that each favor has an ongoing story that's attached to it. Every day you complete a specific favor, you'll get a letter that continues that character or guild's narrative. And once you finish their story arc, you get a special reward that's tied to them. Something personal, like a self-portrait you can hang in your house. It's also a fun excuse for us to bring back characters you haven't seen in a long time.
Like who?
And check in on what they've been up to. People like Tellinger the Artificer, Vulcan One Eye, and lots of others.
Don't know who that is either.
Then there's something totally new. Rumors.
Okay. Lots of rumors in the ESO
Think
community.
of rumors as optional narrative scavenger hunts hidden out in the world. You'll find a rumor, get a set of clues, and then it's on you to follow the trail and figure out what's really going on. To help, there's going to be a new rumor section in your journal where you can track the clues you've collected and reference them as you go along.
Nice, man.
But
That's so
it's
cool.
old school in the best way possible.
Can't wait to Google all of
There's
this.
no UI telling you exactly where to go or who to talk to. You get the goal, you get the clues, and then you go solve it. It honestly feels a bit like classic Morrowind questing from Test 3. You're using your brain to figure things out.
Yeah,
Or
you lost all
search
the ESO
engines and
players that
wikis
using
once
brain,
those come
man.
out for those who just want to get
Them
things done.
motherfuckers are
and
retarded.
That's fine too. One final note on rumors is some even have multiple endings. You might think that you've solved it, but if you pay really close attention, you can uncover that there's a whole nother layer that changes how you see the whole story.
In the end, just give us a brothel? I agree.
Next up, because I have even more to talk about, dynamic world events. Dynamic world events pull from a few things we already know that players like. It's a combination of bigger public challenges like Hero Storms and Dark Anchors, as well as finding these interesting little moments that you stumble across out in the wild.
Right.
Like the mage stuck in a bubble in Solstice, or the frog that just straight up eats a dude as you walk by them. Dynamic world events can pop up across the world. They scale based on how many players jump in, and they have several stages that you work through to succeed. And they're not just kill stuff until a boss spawns either. We've got different sizes of events and different goals within each of them. You might be rescuing animals in danger, or defending a farm under attack, or even teaming up to hunt down an epic vampire that's causing trouble all across the zone. And this is just the starting point. Dynamic world events aren't a one-and-done Season 1 thing.
This is a good change,
we
though.
want to keep expanding this system as we go forward, so keep an eye out. And finally,
They should
the
make it like
last thing I'm going
Diablo.
to cover today, because we've covered a lot, is something called the Sage's Vault. The Sage's Vault is this space between realms that safeguards Sage Vornet's most prized possessions, and it's something you're going to learn a lot more about during the new Thieves Guild story. To get in, you're going to need to track down nowhere keys all out in the world. You'll
Don't know what
earn
the
these by
fuck
doing
that
some
means.
of the new activities in Season 1, as well as some other means. Now, once you're inside, you're going to have 3 wings that you can tackle in whatever order you want. Each wing is made up of a series of rooms, and the order of those rooms, with some of the elements inside of them, are all randomized, so each run feels different and distinct. But here's the important part. This content isn't about damage numbers or perfect gear sets. Each room is built around puzzles, traps, stealth, and even some pretty wild traversal challenges that the team's cooked up. A big part of this experience is uncovering secrets in each of the individual rooms and then realizing how those secrets connect to the other rooms. The vault itself is one giant puzzle,
And this is
and
where
you're
you'll
trying
get
to
your
piece it
leads
together
for
over
your
time
new
to unlock
mythics.
its best rewards. And because we know randomization can get frustrating when you're trying to learn a space like this, we've built in a checkpoint style system as well.
Why?
You'll be able to find maps that let you travel directly to specific rooms. So once you start to figure things out, you can be more intentional about what you're tackling next. It's experimental, it's full of challenges we haven't really done before, and we're really thrilled for players to get in and check it out. Now,
Love the 1 minute,
before I
35
go,
seconds of
I
PvP.
know
All
there's
right,
been
Juggy.
lots of questions about how new story content's going to work with seasons. And I really hope we answered at least some of that today. I also know people are wondering if we're still doing new zones. What I can say is this. In addition to everything in Season 1, we're really hard at work on a new zone that's built around a stronger sense of exploration and discovery, and not just a
New
templated
zone.
list of things to do. That's it for me today, and thank you for hanging out, and please
zone
enjoy
announcements.
the rest of the show.
Hey everyone! I'm Amethyst Begley, senior content producer and a new face here. Thanks so much for joining us today as we share exciting details coming to future ESO seasons. What exactly do we mean when it comes to experimental content?
She looks like my aunt.
Let me tell you a little bit about the high seas of Tamriel.
Big ass glasses, man.
This is a new type of event that introduces naval combat elements, undersea exploration, and various oceanic encounters. We're talking ship battles, deep sea fishing, maybe even puzzles and combat sequences
real?
on the ocean floor.
There's no way those glasses are real, man.
No matter your playstyle, solo or group-based, this event is poised to bring you fun and challenge. If you like high seas adventures, unique underwater locations,
servers for PvP
and
we
of
already
course,
have.
pirates,
Well, that's what they're kind of
you'll want
doing
to
already,
dive in
especially with like
when
the
it
class
launches.
refreshes and shit. It's supposed to like take
From
server
swashbuckling
overload.
to dungeon crawling, get ready for solo dungeons.
But like, obviously this takes
For
a
this
while.
highly requested content, we're rolling out versions
dog
of
shit are
previously
boring,
released
so
dungeons reimagined for solo players and players with companions, beginning with 2 solo dungeons: Moonhunter Keep and March of Sacrifices. You said you'd love to experience the story of dungeons without a rush pace that often accompanies group play. We heard you, and this is the perfect way to do that.
This is fucking
For those
stupid.
that want a more
Doesn't nobody
casual
care
story
about this?
experience, you can jump right in and experience the story solo or with your companion. For
Having a
those who seek
companion
out a
is
challenge,
dweeb
there
shit,
are
I ain't
often
gonna lie.
mechanics at the entrance to make your run a bit spicier. And on the rewards front, there will be new monster masks and other cosmetic items for solo dungeon completion. Last thing from me, fans of Trials and ESO, rejoice. Our
Yay.
development team is cooking up a new one for this year.
Only one?
Crimson Belt, our first base game trial in 12 years, is set in a section of Hersine's hunting grounds. It's the familiar gameplay you've come to love.
I'm actually
with
gonna play
ESO
this trial 'cause
but
it's probably
also
gonna be
some
dope
new
as
wrinkles
fuck.
to
I gotta
challenge
be
folks.
honest.
Hard mode base pop. That's right. We heard your feedback and are incorporating this feature into Crimson Velt. Stay tuned to the ESO website and social channels for updates and more details on everything
That
coming
trial is
soon.
actually gonna be cool as fuck, I bet.
And with that, we're almost at the end of the show. But we have a couple last things we want to
didn't even
about.
talk about shit.
First off, later this year, ESO will be launching on PC Game Pass and Xbox Play Anywhere.
We don't
so
care.
if you're a PC or a handheld player, you'll have a new way available to explore Tamriel.
Playing ESO on your fucking mobile device
Lastly,
is crazy.
we have something very special we want to share today.
It's time for a little bit of a weather report, Nick. So later this year, you can expect storms to gather across some of the coldest, most wintry regions of Tamriel, and to continue wreaking havoc well into early 2027. And where, you might ask? Blizzards are known to appear in at least one familiar corner of Tamriel.
Many of you picked up on the hint in our January reveal and guessed right. These disturbances will sweep through portions of Skyrim in
Uh-oh. They're adding Skyrim?
You'll discover exactly what these storms are building towards as we explore an iconic region never before explored in ESO. So prepare yourself for what's coming in our first season of 2027.
Skyrim season in ESO. I'm incredibly excited for this.
Skyrim
not just for the
season in
location,
ESO.
but for our first ever excursion zone and the team's new take on what a zone can be.
And with that, we're wrapping up this year's ESO Seasons Direct.
A very special thanks to all of you who've joined us today and for being part of this community. Let's build our Tamriel together.
Insane PvP segment. Hey guys, we're coming out with a new vengeance test. Woo! New vengeance test. Woo! Vengeance is just for PvP for scrubs and RPers who can't adapt to real PvP. Vengeance is just retarded. I just want to let y'all know, me doing the stream cost me $20 because I woke up late because my phone died, so my sister can do what I needed to do. And just for them to absolutely bend me over and fuck me in the ass with literally nothing good. What a dog shit stream. Not really, but fucking there was literally nothing for PvP. Bro, they got me all hyped about some PvP.
Hi everyone, and welcome to our first roundtable discussion. We'd like to take some time to sit down with some of our developers that have been hard at work bringing everything to life. Today, we're going to be focused on diving into the motivation, the
You see
inspiration,
how
and
Brian
the
Willer's
passion
not at that
behind
table?
everything you just heard about. ESO is nothing without our players. So we brought in some amazing guests to represent our community and take part in the conversation today. I am pleased to be joined by the following team members and close friends of mine. We have Jason Barnes, Mike Finnegan, and of course the one and only Mrs. Ninetails. We'll begin our discussion around the studio's motivation.
Who the
to
fuck
build
is Mrs.
experimental content.
Ninetails?
What that is exactly, why we think it's the right move, and how the
Nobody
community's
gives a fuck
feedback
about
will be
that. Bro,
critical.
invite me!
After that, I'll throw it over to Just Folsom, who will have some additional chats surrounding the player experience improvements, as well as combat and class updates. So we have a lot to get through. We're going to jump right in. Let's start
You
by
could at least
talking
invited
about
Skinny
experimental
Cheeks.
content.
Who the fuck
And
is
how would you
Mrs.
define
Ninetails?
experimental in this case?
So in essence, experimental content is content where we need new tech or new techniques. Night Market's a really good example of that, that while the structure of a zone is kind of known, this is way different. It's a lot bigger. There's a whole favor system on the back end, how we spawn up the skirmishes, the whole UI aspect. So that all needed kind of new tech. And sometimes it's also taking tech that we have and techniques that we have and then packaging it in a new way. So dungeons, we've been doing dungeons for 13 years. We know exactly how to do dungeons. How do we
No, you
take
do
that
not.
experience, learn from it, and then make it for
The
solo
dungeons that we
players?
have in
With
ESO are
the
dog shit, I gotta
content
be
team,
honest.
it's kind of similar. You know, we've been doing a certain type of content and quests for a lot of years, and it worked great for many, many years, but it kind of became predictable. And so we were like, well, when we want to change it up and experiment, like, how do we do that? And I think the first thing is kind of stepping away from the rules a little bit and saying, this is what we know we can do. What if we do some of that, but also take some of that time just to step off into another direction, maybe throw some ideas at the wall, see what maybe fits the theme, and go from there. And so for experimental for us is really just stepping outside of our safe zone a little bit and try new things like rumors, where, you know, it's not quest content. I like to call it narrative treasure hunts in the world, and you have to kind of figure out how that all works. But we also have the vault, which is totally from the ground up. I call it like the fun maze. Every room has some unique type of gameplay that you go through.
I don't even know
and
if
there's
I'm
tons of
stream.
secrets that you have to kind of uncover
There's
as you go
fucking
through it as well.
no
so
PvP
that's kind of
announcements.
what we mean when we say that.
It's nice to hear kind of your perspective on what experimental content is, because I can guarantee that what you guys kind of define it as, the community probably sees that very differently. I think maybe it's going to help quell some, you know, potential miscommunication or expectations of, you know, when you say we're getting experimental, that may mean something different to us. So I appreciate that kind of.
Oh my God, they should have. I know, bro. They should have brought Skinny Cheeks
There's
at
another
least,
definition
man.
of experimental too, is when we're putting something out to the community, we want to see, you know, how
Invite
they
me to
react.
this
and
shit.
that's
Sit me
experimental
down
in its
with
own
Brian
right.
Wheeler,
That's of
man.
saying, hey, this is something brand new.
So I
that
can
we've
ask
never
the
done
real
before.
questions. They don't
Let's
ask the
put
real
this out
questions.
there and
They
see the
invite people
feedback
who
and the
ask them
reaction.
the
And
easy
if you like it,
questions.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
if you
awesome.
don't, then we'll look at why you don't and see if we can
tweak it
do
from
it,
there,
or
yeah.
we say, hey, okay, this didn't land. Cool.
Throw
We
that
didn't
Eamon,
lose
Cujo, and
a
Snacky.
ton of time on it, but
No,
we can
they should
go
be
and try
talking to
new things
me.
in the future and kind of veer off
Me.
in a different direction.
Yeah. And some of the new stuff is like foundational, right? Where we're starting with the new stuff and then
Fuck the
building
rest of
on
them. They
different
need to be
pieces.
talking to
I
me.
know in your community, you focus a lot on
Shit, even
new
Sakar. I think
players and
Sakar has
helping
better takes.
Folks that maybe haven't played the game in a while, but there's all different play styles in your guild and in your community. So I bet they're pretty stoked for all the things that we're working on.
Yes, it's, you know, for a while we've kind of felt like, you know, everybody's lined up for, you know, their turn at some content, right? And we have so many play styles. You know, we have our, you know, more hardcore, you know, trial players, our PvPers, our casuals, our housers, the people that love to quest. We have so many across the board. So it always felt like, you know, kind of waiting like, all right, the trial's coming, it's my turn, and gonna get some dungeons, it's my turn, and then, you know, some housing updates, that's so cool. So it feels like, you know, with this kind of model that you guys are going with, it's gonna hit so many more play styles and kind of, you know, roll out so that we don't feel like we're kind of waiting in line for things, and it's really going to, you know, hit broader on the community than it kind of has in the past.
Before we sort of had to hold things, and we were beholden to, you know, the chapter release and certain beats for things to go out, but now we can just kind of release it when it's ready, which is really cool. Talking about this wide range of content, how do you think all this is going to resonate with the community?
You know, we're super hopeful because we're sticking with what we know, right? Like narrative and storytelling, that's always the heartbeat, of a lot of, like, especially like
PvP should be top priority. PvE players have everything they want all the time. Well, I mean, they're the majority of the community.
We're never going to get away
should
from
have
that.
everything they want.
But I think
fuck,
we
man, give the
are
PvE
also
players
trying
something.
to just have more types of gameplay
There's
in
something
general.
to work
It's
with.
definitely a delicate balancing act of appealing to the long-term fans that we have, but then taking maybe some of the experiences they've had and adding on to it. The night market's a good example. There's a lot of group kind of activities and stuff in there. Dynamic world events, if you're used to incursions or even random, what we call RDS, random distraction content.
The game died because of hybridization.
This is another
that was
take
it.
on that and evolving kind of these experiences.
Hybridization
One of the
was
biggest
retarded.
things I've heard from the community, you know, my community, other communities, is that, you know, everybody's afraid, you know, on the roadmap, it gets put out, very high level. If they're not seeing something that fits their content style, they're worried that, oh my God, it's gonna go away, right? You know, we've definitely heard, you know, Zone was a big one, right? It's nice to hear that, like I said, we're not gonna stray from that, because there's so many people, like I said, I've been around 12 years and I love what we do, but, you know, again, change is hard, right? You know, we've been doing something for so long, and, you know, everybody wants to still feel at home here.
You know, we're going to be
They say anything
changing some
good?
things,
Yeah, a
but
new
we're still
vengeance
making
test.
an Elder Scrolls game, right? Like, we're still going to be telling
That's all
stories.
they said
To your
about
point
PvP.
earlier, like, stories
New
is
vengeance
part of our
test.
DNA, and that's what we do.
One of the things is we've committed to moving the timeline forward.
Yeah, that's
And so now we can, like, do long-term planning on that
They
type
got
of
good
stuff
PvE
and like
and
build out
RP
huge
shit.
storylines. And
Well, for
I used to
PvP,
joke, it
all
was
they
like
told us
whenever
was
we
new
would
vengeance test.
release a new chapter, since everything had to take place at the same time, it's basically like writing chapter 1 through 3 of a new book and then going to a next book. So
I was just gonna say it actually is.
Oh, Bethesda has like
it
fucking
helps us a little bit
30,000
that we
views.
don't have to like, okay,
Yeah,
well, if this
30K on
happens
ESO
here and
right
that
now.
happened there, then how does this happen and stuff? It's solving puzzles of our own making.
After 10 plus years of content,
Yeah.
becomes a very intricate and complex cube of like storytelling. And it's like, oh yeah, I met this character here, but I don't know if I remember them from here. And so this is gonna help a lot going forward. And again, storytelling, right? We're gonna keep doing that. Gonna see a lot of cool stuff later on too, right? So yeah.
All I'm saying is if
You're gonna bother with this
you
next
know,
vengeance? Well, I'm a
choices
content creator.
And, you know,
and
getting
I
to flirt a
stream,
little
so
bit leads to
like
being
every
able to
vengeance
romance
test, I'll
the
be there
characters.
the
I
entire
don't think the
time.
community is gonna be mad.
My number one question when I ever go
Labyrinth?
somewhere is,
It is
when,
absolutely- I don't know
when
what the fuck
can
it
I
is.
kiss Razum
Yes,
Dar?
nobody's gonna be
And I'm
mad.
like-
Just throwing that out there.
So I know for you, Miss Ninetales, the Thieves
They
Guild
invited
story
a community
specifically, I
member.
think
They
that
invited
hits
whoever the
home for
fuck
you,
this
right?
random woman
Yes.
is.
So Nine's a big fan of the Thieves Guild.
Okay.
He loves it. To see us revisit the Thieves Guild again is
Instead of
really
inviting
exciting.
somebody who has an opinion,
I'm kind
they
of
just
curious.
invited
There's
a yes
so many,
man or
so
yes
many great
woman.
guilds to run back on. Why them?
We showed a preview of Dark Brotherhood, and I was like, we can't do that. I just want to do something completely opposite and just say experimental content. Thank you. No, I think Thieves Guild has always resonated with the player base.
the
It's also kind of an
Assassin's
interesting thing
Guild,
where
the Black Hand
if you play Dark
resonates
Brotherhood,
more.
it's like,
Yeah, Dark
okay,
Brotherhood.
you're a killer, like you're a very specific type of player. Thieves Guild is a little bit more neutral. Like you can be a gray thief, right? And I think it just has a little bit of more appeal.
What's new
to
for
that. And not to
PvP?
say that we won't touch
Vengeance.
things with like Dark Brotherhood
And skill
stuff in the
styles. We
future,
did
but
get skill
just
styles.
talking
They are
through it
adding
and-
skill
and
styles
going back and
that
being
are
able to
PvP
kind of continue
exclusive,
backstories.
and they change their
we
rewards
bring
every
back
6 months. So
Quinn
that's
from
good.
the original Thieves Guild,
But
which a lot of
as
people
far as
liked,
like what's actually new
and
for PvP, just
continue
another
her
vengeance
story,
test.
because she's kind of at the the whole.
They're saying they're
beginning of
gonna
this, she's
change healing
putting
and
this
damage so
together.
there's less
And
stealth
you're helping
maintenance, so
her
maybe
out
it'll be a
along the
little bit more
way,
fun
and
this
we're like,
time.
we really like her character, and so we can base a story around it, and yeah, it just kind of organically fell in place that way.
A little bit of both happening at the same time kind of thing, where we're like, oh, we want to kind of do we want to explore Thieves Guild? What mechanics do we want to do? And they kind of all
stars
gelled.
aligned,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
Yeah, and that is one thing that we're trying to just do more of too, is having things that are thematically linked to stuff. A lot of times we'll just throw a system in the game and it was like, cool, it exists on its own thing, you know, scribing, Tales of Tribute, have storylines associated with them, I know, because I did them. But they didn't necessarily feel linked to what you were doing.
Yeah.
So with this, it's like, oh, you learn about a lot of these things. You're introduced to some of these mechanics and systems during the storyline, and trying to do more of that too.
Building on that, kind of like the Sage's Vault is a good example of, well, it's
Nerfing
thematically
heals,
kind
you
of
said,
initially
and
linked
vengeance.
to
And
the
vengeance.
Thieves Guild. That doesn't mean it ends in the Thieves Guild or number stuff. We can carry forward. This kind of what we were talking about earlier, building for the future and stuff. We can absolutely, or we have built that system that we can build on in the future. So.
Jason, I'm glad you mentioned something about feedback, because on that topic,
4v4v4.
I know you
Well,
both,
4v4v4
Jason and Finn,
is supposed to
spend a lot of
come
time
with the next,
receiving
like,
feedback and reading
weekend
through a lot of
event
feedback.
for what's it
how
called?
do you,
But, you know,
how do
those
you
never
take
come.
all of that back to the team?
Hopefully we get like a
what
chaos
is that
ball one or
process
something.
I've always said that there's
Or
a
capture the
nugget
relic,
of
it's fun.
truth in feedback, and kind of all of the feedback we get, whether we
Sometimes.
get it abrasively, whether we get it nicely, but in boiling down to kind of get to the heart of that. And I think Solo Dungeons is a really good example of that, because we've gotten a lot of feedback over the years where players are like, I want to experience dungeons, but I go in there and somebody rushes through it and I don't get to hear what the NPCs are saying or anything like that. So the feedback has been, we want some incentive to kind of experience these stories, like maybe to slow people down or something.
Right.
And what does it boil down to? It really boils down to, I want to experience a story. And that's kind of how Solo Dungeons were born. It was like, okay, well, they want to experience
you want to experience the story, so in
how can we do
5
that?
years,
What if we make these dungeons
you
solo,
can,
so there is
you
no
can do all of them.
distractions, there is no other people there. That's the controllable kind of variable that we have there. So when you go into Solo Dungeons, you're going to be able to choose kind of different levels of difficulty. There's going to be all kinds of new rewards. You're actually not going to get the same rewards as you would in a normal dungeon, because we still want the normal dungeons, the group dungeons, to be incentivized for players to go in there. So we have a different kind of reward schemes set up for Solo Dungeons.
Coming at it from a community point of view, what guidance do you have for us just to ensure that we're listening and we're kind of implementing this stuff in the best way possible?
Yeah, so I've gotten to spend some time with you guys being down here, and we've had a lot of conversations. I think we're on the same page that, you know, communication is definitely a big hurdle. You guys read everything, right? But from a community's perspective, there's no response there, right?
Gotcha.
So are they reading it because we're not getting that kind of like validation of like, we hear you, we see you, we validate your feelings. So I think, that's been a big point in contention for quite a while now. And I think you guys have done, again, a total
They had
180 on
Vengeance
that
'cause of
communication.
PC retards.
Seriously, and keep heading
Pretty sure
in that direction
Vengeance was
because,
more dead
you
on
know, at the end
PC
of the
than anything
day,
else.
Players want to be seen and heard. And
At least on
feel
NA.
like they are
EU,
valued,
they
and
had
you guys
it's
have
because
already
of
started
EU they
down
had
that path, and I
Vengeance.
think it's,
EU had Vengeance
sticking to
population.
that,
Y'all are the
that's gonna be
retards.
huge for the community.
Yeah. You'll get tired of us soon.
Never.
Especially when I'm on there. I'm like, what's everyone's favorite soda? Here, Paul the Den.
Who do we romance next?
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, that one would get some attention. Yeah.
Bro, y'all are fucking
talking
50
about
years
doing
old. Talk about who do
another
we
guild summit
romance
sometime
next.
this
Get it
year,
together.
Maybe even doing some more focus summits, like, a housing
Bro
summit
said
or
the fuck
something.
we
so
watching Roblox
those
for?
kind of sub-communities
If I was to run a
can sit
pure
down
Sorc
with the
build,
teams and just
SNC
have a
for rallying
dialogue track.
Bloodborne, which set would be my front bar. Essence would be your front bar.
Yeah, we got this.
I really do feel like
I'd
that
probably use
between
Balorgs
our
over-
studio and the community, we really inspire one another through the
Over
feedback
Bloodspawn,
and the
though.
discussions
Bloodspawn
and
might
the
be decent,
creations
though.
that get made.
I just like more
so
damage.
Let's talk a little bit about what inspires you. What feeds your passion to just continue adding to the game, and in your case, adding to the community?
Yeah, so for me personally, we've been in the community for 12 years. ESO has been such a massive part of our lives, right? Like, it is so ingrained in our household. Something that Nine and I recently kind of ventured out
the
on
fuck
is
is
we're actually
Nine?
starting a nonprofit. And we realized that, within our community, there's a lot of isolation.
What
right?
does you
know,
starting a
being,
nonprofit
you're
have to do
online,
with
it's
anything?
anonymous. You kind of get walled off in your own area. And we saw that as an opportunity to try and, bring people out to kind of get the community together. And we're starting a nonprofit that was completely inspired by ESO to start and bring these fantasy experiences to conventions for people to, you know, come out, meet other members of the community. We really wanted to bring everybody's love for ESO and connect
This is the
people
Bethesda
that way.
logo.
And, you know, we'd love to, you know, expand to other worlds. But at the end of the day, ESO's the content that started it. And we did it for the first time last year at GCX. And we got such an overwhelmingly positive reception to it. I know you guys mentioned you even heard about it.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
You know, it's gone beyond just
Story and weapons.
It's kind of like the
No,
lifeblood
it'd
of what
be-
we do, and seeing player feedback and stuff. Feedback that we got from, I mean, from people
It'd
at the
be
tavern, for instance,
essence,
in live, in person and
legs,
stuff about what about
hands,
rewarding golden
feet,
experience
and
it's like, okay,
weapons.
that gave us a nugget to
then
kind of explore and see.
you'll have a
if
belt
that,
of rally,
you know, would kind of
necklace,
move the needle, and
a
that kind
ring,
of gets
and
the
then
process
your back
going
bar
and stuff.
weapon,
So yeah, a lot
which
of
is
that
usually a
feedback
staff.
is directly
And
related
then you'll have
to
a
the
mythic,
features that
one
we're
piece
we're
trainee,
putting
and a
in.
monster set.
I mean, going to the tavern,
Oh,
some of the
I love it every year.
that whole event
yeah,
in Germany
so
is just
good,
so
so
fun,
good.
and you know the amount of guilds and community
Bring
members
voice
that come
chat
out
to
to that and
PC.
just are enjoying
I don't play with
themselves.
voice chat. I have mine turned. I had mine turned off. On,
amazing. Like,
Amazing.
It's funny because you go to an event like that and there's times where you just kind of stand back. It hits you and you're just like, holy crap, like, you know, our team helped build this. This is
I did
something
that.
yeah, it's, you know, it's something we've put years and years of our life into, and to see this and just, it's very overwhelming. And when you get back, you want to share that feeling with the team because it is so inspiring and it just gets you like all like fueled up and
Yeah,
ready
it
to
does,
go.
it does.
and-
It
feels,
reinvigorates,
right?
it reinvigorates. And it's not only that, it's also like, we say the tavern and we go there and it's great and we're able to talk to community and stuff, but to see all the people that come there not to talk to us, like for a lot of people
Yeah.
at the tavern in particular, that's their once a year guild meetup. And they come from all over the world, even to meet up with their fellow
Yeah,
guildmates.
that's
and they
some
all grab a
dork shit,
table
I gotta
and
be
they're able
honest.
to hang out for the weekend and stuff. And to see that, I mean, yes, talking to the players is fantastic.
Yep.
We love to do that. But then to also see people just enjoying their guilds together is just fantastic. Yeah, and it's very reinvigorating to be able to kind of see that and
Yeah.
experience that.
I don't think you guys realize sometimes like what kind of impact you've had. And like I said, I look back again, 12 years of my life. I said, like, this is 2 weeks short of, you know, me being with my husband. This is like the longest thing I've ever done in my life. And out of this, I've gotten my best friends. I've gotten my family. I'm going to be going to my second wedding for guild members. Like,
Nice.
it's, I don't think you guys realize like how much you really do impact.
See, they
You know,
just
without
invited a
sounding too, you know,
fucking
cheesy,
yes
but,
man
like,
to suck them off, man. Like, we don't fucking care.
Like,
This
you
has
guys did
nothing to
that.
do
If
with
it
the
weren't for
fucking
you,
game.
it
We
wouldn't
don't give a
exist, and
fuck
we
if you
wouldn't
go to
have that.
somebody's
So,
wedding.
yeah,
We
that's my-
don't
my
care.
happy, you know.
Aw.
We appreciate it.
We need a group hug after this. Well, this has been a really great conversation, and want to thank all three of you.
All you do
for
is
your
raise my
time
blood
and just
pressure and make me wanna
sharing,
jump off a
your
fucking
stories
bridge.
and some insight. It's been really nice. But we have a whole nother roundtable to do, so we're gonna pass things over to Jess to take it away over there.
Another round table? Please be a good content creator. Please be somebody with some with PvP. What kind of dorks do we have here? Who's this?
Hi everyone. So let's keep the discussion going with my good friends from the ESO Dev team and one of our ESO creators. We've got Kira Ross-Schlitt here and Brian Wheeler,
Okay.
as well as our community guest, the wonderful Calawan. As Gina mentioned, we'll be discussing campaigns.
Who the fuck
to
is
improve many
that?
Facets of our beloved game, whether
Y'all
it be
gonna piss
general
me off
quality
with
of
these
life
content
updates,
creators you pick.
what
I don't even know who
fixes
this
our
dude is.
campaigns, and tests or improvements to PvP. It is incredibly important to us to continue to evolve ESO and deliver the very best experiences for everyone. So without further ado, let's get into it. How has that evolution of gaming informed our seasonal approach and the future of ESO?
Let's start with the short stuff. When people come to ESO,
Who's this?
I really want to
Who's
make
this
sure that
content
they're
creator
not
they added?
being forced to spend time on these systems that feel outdated now before they can really get to the part that they want to do, that they can play their way and have fun and focus on the good stuff. Like you said, the gaming landscape has changed, trends have changed, how we approach time and progression has changed, and you know, we took that barrier out, so you don't have to port back to a shrine
Oh, it's
before
great.
you can
You
do
just
that.
keep going.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to see that. You know, I've been playing MMOs a long time, and I really appreciate it, and I know my community really appreciated it.
Who
There
is
was a
this
lot
guy?
of great stuff in those player experience improvements, just sort of removing some of that friction from the game so that we can get to the parts that we do really enjoy. I'm honestly excited to hear more about how you're going to continue to approach that with Seasons.
We're really trying to make sure that we're respecting your time.
Can you
not just
invite
in one
somebody who
particular area
like
of the
can
game,
say something
but
about
it's going to
PvP?
be
You just like invited a
holistic
bunch of
that we're
yes
looking at
men.
your time spent. And again, with the progression system for PvP, that's just one of them that we're working on.
I love hearing that too, right? So regardless of what type of PvP that I like to participate in, whether it's Battlegrounds or Cyrodiil, whether it's Vengeance or Greyhost, I can still work towards this system.
This guy sucks at PvP.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a sneak peek today.
Bring a good
I did.
PvPer.
I'm excited. It looks real cool, and I think it's been a long time coming as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm absolutely jazzed about it too. And like hearing everybody from the studio, like, yeah, let's go, let's get some more stuff in there. Like, starting with Vengeance last year and everybody on board with it has been great, and the team's been all about it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm a sucker for collectibles. So,
There you go.
You'll get me back into Cyrodiil as soon as there's something new to collect. So.
It's not only
Do you see how he just said that? He doesn't play Cyrodiil because it's dog shit.
We want it to literally feel more rewarding, right? So the Tamriel Tomes, the Gold Coast Bazaar, all of these are really about making it easier to earn rewards in-game by doing the things that you want to do.
And less grind.
And less grind, right? And again, let's take a more holistic approach. Let's take out the things that are starting to feel perhaps a little outdated, like daily rewards, and move some of that into the tome so that you can have a more integrated experience. Also, I think it gives you more flexibility about when and how you want to engage. And less pressure. So if you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. If you like to spend 8 hours on a Saturday, then great, do that. You can still make progress and not feel, oh, dang, I missed out logging in every single day.
Yes.
I love that too, not having to log in every day, make sure that I can still get access to those rewards, not feel so much pressure to get the daily endeavors done. The coolest thing for me was
These guys are
finally
fucking
having
dorks,
some
man. They
more
don't even play
agency over
PvP.
what
We're the
those rewards actually
PvPers
are.
or PvEers.
100%.
These are our
Completing the
peers,
tome
man.
and then being able to go to the Gold Coast Bazaar and buy the XP scrolls or whatever it is that
Sounds
I
like
need
I'm being
rather
gaslit
than,
by politicians.
Just what's
more
offered
tripods.
today.
Yeah, right.
Basically.
How are we approaching these long-term campaigns, knowing that the goal is to improve the overall player experience in ESO?
The DK came out in 49.
Yep.
And that was the start of this long haul. We really want to take our time, make sure we're doing this right, make sure that what we deliver, and I think, with the DK, everybody was like, that's really good. Yes, do more of that. Like when you saw the DK, that got you excited for the Warden.
It did.
Or whatever else
I will
coming
agree
up
with that.
next.
It did.
And I like that we're taking the
It
time
is
to
unbalanced as hell, but
give
yes.
each class
the 2H
its
was dog shit,
own
though.
moment,
Update.
which also internally gives all the teams that are working on that, the audio team, the visual effects team, the combat team, that same time to work together on any adjustments or improvements.
Yep, and that's really key, like trying to make sure that every class has a chance to shine. And again, we're not gonna ignore the other class or balance points as we're doing this. We know that it's a live game. And as things crop up from build X or Y, we'll look at it and handle it, but we're trying to really make sure every class gets its spotlight.
Yes, please.
We're trying to
nerf
take our time
Flame Lash.
so that we can think about things holistically instead of hitting them as individual one-offs.
Yeah.
Us focusing on guild housing is really a big one, right? We started with the Guild Summit last year. We really wanted to get the feedback from the players. What are they most excited about? What are their biggest pain points? How can we best help support them, because they do such important, awesome work, educating, getting people involved. And we need running events, right? And being able to help support that is really important. We are also planning to really focus as we develop the design about going to players and saying, hey, here's how we're going to hit this. Does this work for you? Does this make sense with what you're looking for?
Yeah, and he's actually part of that. Cal's all about we got the Warden discussions happening soon, and he's like, yes, I want to be part of it. So it's working
I'm
out.
not sure who beat me to signing up for that, but someone.
So let's switch gears to talk about the player experience improvements that you and your team are working on. I will say, one of the things that I'm most excited about and love seeing is how we are utilizing PTS feedback more. And it's
Pass
happening
everyone in Gina
real
cannot afford a
time.
hair dye.
So I have a good example of that. With update 49 PTS, we announced the housing furnishing limit increasing, and players were very excited to hear about that. But they asked a question that we hadn't thought about, and they said, you know, with the furnishing cap increases, and you asked this too, Kalma.
I did.
What about the player cap increase for visitors in housing?
How did
Because
you
they
not think of
expected
that?
that to
I feel
go
like
with the
that's like-
furnishing increase. Makes sense. So we said, Kira, what do you think? Is this something that we could make happen?
We have the ability to now even consider these things, right? We're not quite on this treadmill the same way anymore, and we have a team who's looking at these things. And so I, called all the experts and I said, what's the risk here? Because everything in ESO does have consequences. It's something all the changes we do have to be handled really thoughtfully and carefully so it doesn't end up impacting another system or the overall player experience.
Right.
But we looked at this one and we're like, you know what? This is an opportunity to make this even better, even more what players asked for, give them a little bit more flexibility, allow them to make even snugger in rooms with more people coming to visit, and then continue to look about how we can keep making it better.
And it happened so fast.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was like, really? We can tell the players we're going to do it? Sweet. And then it happened in update 49.
Yeah. Many things in ESO, if you change them, they have consequences.
Yeah.
Butterfly effect is real.
Right. So we still have to be thoughtful about what we're doing, but taking those
What up, Cinnamon on the Manad?
little wins that we can do, or the things that are easier and give that immediate return, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great list. It really read like, my personal, top 20 wish list of player experience improvements. I'm obviously very excited about the increased furnishing limits. I design a lot of houses in ESO, and I can't wait to revisit those.
Dork,
but,
man. We
like
don't
you were just
care
saying,
about
as soon as I
housing.
realized what I would be able to do with an in-room,
Only
I
retards
realized
care
I was
about
going to
housing.
want to have more than one person come visit and check it out. So thank you for turning that around so quickly. It is awesome. And again, I know everyone in the housing community is going to be really excited.
All right, so thanks. That was a good conversation about the player experience improvements. So let's just shift over to
Let's talk about furniture, fix
classes
the game.
and combat.
Oh, hold on,
first.
classes and combat. Everybody shut up.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, let the bullet
first wave
start
of these
flying,
went
right?
Shut up,
live
everybody shut
with
up.
DK with update 49. So what is everyone looking forward to with these efforts?
Directly in Season 0, the thing that I'm excited about finally getting out there is Vengeance being full-time. but
Oh
also
my,
veteran seat
Vengeance
progression.
being full
So
time.
this is a new
No,
system that
man,
we're putting
fuck
in
this
where you're
fucking
able to
game.
get
I
rewards
quit.
for PvP, and again, like we said earlier, doing it in Imperial City or Battlegrounds or any campaign.
Right.
Any
And
Cyrodiil campaign.
Any Cyrodiil campaign, right. So Grey Host, Vengeance, whatever campaigns we have up afterwards.
Bro,
it's gonna be
nobody wants
earnable
vengeance.
through that with a combination of XP and AP earned, and you're going to get cool weapons and armor, not like one like sets, but actual visuals.
Right.
So you can apply that to anything. A couple different skill styles as well that you won't be able to get anywhere else. But that
Like the
is
Warden
like,
Bear and ability not
the gang
null.
is
That's
jazzed
actually a
about
good
that coming
idea.
out. You're going to get new titles and all kinds of stuff, but the Warden on the class side, the crew is excited about that as well, for sure. We're trying to spread that theme around. Same
Right.
thing with animals and for seasons or nature. So
Creating just sort of a more cohesive class kit, I guess.
yeah, very much like how Arcanist and Necro, their feel is spread throughout the entire skill lines. They have their specific tanking, DPS, and support line as well, but the feel of the Arcanist is holistic. Same thing with the Necro. But part of all that is tied to the feedback loop,
Necro and
but also
Arcanist
just statistics that we've
crux
seen,
and
all the data, like
shit is
when we
retarded.
see who's subclassing and who isn't. We're using that data as part of these discussion points as
Right,
well.
right.
We are going to be introducing basically a new skill line for every class. We're calling it Class Mastery, where it's going to have some passives that sort of boost you up a little bit for whether you're DPS, tanking, or support. There's going to be a couple, broader passives that we have in there too, but it's going to be, another layer for the high end to be like, okay, how do I play as a DK or play as a Warden or play as a Templar? So it's going to be a case where this is going to evolve as well, because we're putting that out sooner than all the other classes are getting done. So this is going to be a case where these mastery lines are going to evolve and they're going to exist beyond the refresh. We're going to keep, analyzing and seeing what people are doing. If a certain build is lacking due to pure classing, we'll look and see what we can do in the mastery lines
So
to try and
basically,
help pump that up.
mastery lines are always
something
going to be
really
in the game,
exciting
and
to hear.
eventually, when all the
You know,
reworks are
I
done,
think that
something's
was
just
one
going to
of
be mega
the
broken.
maybe the key pieces of feedback on the DK refresh was that a pure DK still wasn't quite at the level of a subclass build.
Huh?
How do you think that
Who the fuck ever said that pure DK is not? Bro, nobody cares about
PvE. We not
PvE.
have played in a while, and we'd
Making this shit too broken for PvP.
Many ways, we hope. But I'd definitely say that one of the big ones.
Or they
and
just
we've heard it
completely
requested
ignored.
for a very long time, and we've been working on it, but it's
They just completely
big, and
ignored
it's
the
complicated.
PvP
Is,
aspect.
of course, crossplay.
It just really sat there
I
and
think it is
said
important
that.
to say crossplay is not coming in 2026.
Yes, yes.
But we are working on it. We are making good progress on this, and this is something that is really important to us. And we also want to make sure that we do it in a way that feels good, right? We're also really looking at how ESO can be overwhelming for everybody.
Quest markers everywhere.
Yeah, right?
10+ years.
Right. All these systems layered on top of each other. So we're going to be looking at things like, we have Heroes Return for people who've been away for a while. We're doing some updates to that. We're doing one for new users that sort of kicks in after Cold Harbor and helps sort of lead them along a little bit. And one of the other ones we're looking at is trying to smooth out the experience from level 50 to CP 160.
DK a buff board is
Right?
awesome. Apparently,
So
bro.
really looking at how can we make it easier to come back into ESO if you've been away a while, and also just make it easier
Literally
if you
everybody and their
have
mother's
friends
streaming
for
this
them
right
to
now.
just join and play, right?
That's great. I know anybody who's played an MMO or even a
Oh my God,
more
coming back.
complicated-
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
honestly,
like, what do I do?
a more complicated game, especially with something that has a 10+ year history, you come back after not playing for a year or more, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Right.
Where did I leave? What are these quests? What's
Should
in my
just hit
inventory?
level 50 and
So
then wear
this is all really
champion
great.
gear. CP
Right, that
160
accessibility
weird.
is really awesome. Whether it's PvP
Honestly,
or
I agree.
PvE or just figuring out the systems, I know how overwhelming it can be because I see those people show up in my Discord or in my guild, and some of the questions seem really mundane. But
Crimson Desert
playing
main
for
game, I
forever.
guess.
Right.
LOL, that game's
I
fucking
think
trash.
we're all subject to our own bubbles in some way there, right? I'm honestly just impressed with the overall volume of the player experience improvements and a lot of the stuff that's coming. I know some of it isn't
more
necessarily the kind
Zos
of thing
yes-men.
that makes the back of the box, I like to say, but I think it makes a big difference to players in the game, and I'm just really excited to see what's next.
As we're working through this seasonal content, why do you think it's more important than ever for ESO?
You have no literally
to focus
nobody
on
likes that
community?
game. That game's fucking
It's
dog
interesting
shit.
from the player perspective and the creator perspective because we are all invested in this game right alongside you guys.
So much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, as a YouTube channel, I want people to play the game. I want people to watch the videos. And so I want ESO to grow and thrive. And I want it to grow as much as it can. I want more features and more stuff and, more houses to collect. And so I think a lot of players feel that. And that's why they're
more
so
PvP
passionate about it,
updates,
right?
so I
They
get
have great
views.
ideas
I don't
and
get
they-
views
they
unless you update
obviously,
PvP.
wanna
I
see
don't give
the
a fuck
table
about no
and want their
housing.
voices heard,
Yes.
and it's very personal, right?
So many of us are players ourselves, and we run into these same friction
Y'all
points
are
and
not
pain points that our
fucking
players
real
do.
people.
And
What do you
because
mean
we
you're
were
players
on that,
yourself?
chapter treadmill. It
You
was
don't even know how
really
to play
hard
the game.
Pull the time out.
Nobody is sitting at these last two tables know how to play
But
ESO whatsoever
this
at
game
all.
It's not for us.
That's true.
It's
That's
for the
true.
community.
That's
And so
pretty
being
true. I mean,
able to deliver
That's
on
true.
these long
Yeah,
requested
that's true.
features to fix
that's
the
true.
things
That's
that are
fucking true.
driving them nuts that aren't
how it
meant
is, dude.
to be
It-
that way. It's incredibly
I'm like, who's this guy?
heartwarming
Exactly. We
to
don't know who
to
the
see
fuck
the
this guy
reception
is.
to
Shut
these
your fucking
changes,
mouth, you'll do
but it's
nothing.
also,
You'll do fucking
gives us
nothing.
more power to want to keep making it better and stronger, so that ESO can be that 30-year game that we talk about.
One of the things that got actually brought up today in the team chat, somebody said, well, if the players are getting excited, then that makes me excited to do more work.
Yeah.
And that's infectious. And anytime we can either give more background or more details, like earlier today talking about actual metrics that we can talk about with people, like showing the graphs for vengeance, like people being able to see like the why we do the decisions and being able to explain it is really exciting.
And then look at the player feedback of fucking vengeance, you fucking idiot. God damn, you're fucking retarded. Holy shit.
And then we can explain it more, and I think that's really cool.
Don't leave me to my own
Literally,
device.
nobody likes vengeance.
All right.
You cannot
well,
justify
I think
it.
that is a wrap. So Brian, Calamon, and Kira, thank you
Nobody
so
knows
much
who the
for
fuck
joining
Calamon
and taking the time
is.
to
We
chat
don't know
today.
this guy.
It's been a pleasure talking with you all, and we hope you all enjoyed this and have a great evening. We will see you in Tamriel.
None of it hit by a core whip from someone that couldn't do damage in different patch. Exactly. Who is this fucking bozo? This guy has a YouTube channel and posts like fucking 4 times a month. He don't even barely get more views than me. He got 15K subs. This is who you invited? Bro, this dude don't even PvP. Become undetectable thief build? Where? Bro, there ain't even a PvP video on here. There's not even a PvP video on his channel. You're just inviting ESO Yesman PvEers. That stream sucked. Who the fuck are we inviting? Oh no, wait. Bro, I started this stream negative $20 so I can come watch this shit. I was like, here, gave my sister $20, do my chores, because I don't got time. I got to stream this, because it's big ass stream, very important, and they're going to give me some PvP news and some good news, and next thing you know, they just came, bent me over, slapped me on the ass, said, good girl, stuck it in, and just started pumping. I'm like, what the fuck? You didn't even buy me dinner. Fuck this, I'm going to Twitch only. Fuck YouTube. I should have posted a YouTube video today.